The big breaking news this afternoon for Celtic fans is the fact that uncapped Ireland defender Liam Scales has been rewarded for his form this season. Remember, he was at Aberdeen last season and there was talk that he might go back to Aberdeen. He was probably this close and going back to Aberdeen at the start of the season. But with his form so far, he has been called into the Ireland squad for the Euro 2024 qualifiers against Greece and Gibraltar, which also sees a recall, wait for it, for Mikey Johnston. Mikey Johnston gets back into the team also. You've got to remember, Mikey Johnston was pretty much in form for Ireland last year, and he had a pretty good game for them a couple of times, and he was pretty good in Portugal in spells last season, so that's why he was brought back into the team. But let's talk about Scales. Scales, do you know, he's had a fantastic season so far, and I said, look, in a couple of weeks' time, once Cameron Carter-Vickers back, that'll be the partnership that you'll see to the end of the season, because I thought there was no one better right now at Celtic in defence than Liam Scales. He's grabbed the bull by the horn, and he's made sure that position was his own. He was given a fantastic opportunity during the beginning of the season and just before the start of the season due to the fact of injuries. Injuries played right into the lap of the gods for him. He wanted to stay at Celtic. He was asked during the summer about the potential going back to Aberdeen, and he said, look, I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. It's not my decision to make, he said. He said it's Celtic's decision to make. If I'm required here, my ideal would be to stay here and play football. But if they feel that I need to go back to Aberdeen, so be it. And you maybe thought the writing was on the wall for him to go back to Aberdeen when we brought in Rocky and Gustav. We brought in two players that you're thinking, does that push Liam Scales out the door a bit? Does he then decide, you know what, Aberdeen want me full time, to then go to Aberdeen and then play his football there? Would he have got into the Ireland squad if he went to Aberdeen? I'm going to say maybe not. I'm going to say that I don't think it'd been a high enough level. And the fact that he's had a really good couple of games in the Champions League, although we did get beat last night, when you look at his stats, and we're going to look at his stats just now, when you look at the heat map for him last night, I mean, he covered that side of the pitch really well. When you look at the minutes played, 90 minutes played, clearances, he had 4 clearances, he had 1 block shot, 1 tackle in the box. Ground duels, he had 2, he won the 2 of them. Aerial duels, he had 5, he won 3 of them. So defensively, he did what Liam Scales does. He did lose possession 15 times, but he had 129 touches of the ball. His pass accuracy was 88%. That pass accuracy was only beaten by one player on the night, I think, and that was Callum McGregor. And Callum McGregor's his pass rate was absolutely phenomenal. When you see the amount of passes, although he didn't have a lot of intervention in the game, his ratio for the pass per shot was quite high. So let's get back to Scales. Tell me what you think in the comments about Scales getting recalled. You remember he was at Aberdeen, and he hadn't been in previous squads under Stephen Kenny when he was up in Aberdeen. So what does that tell you about the standard of football at Aberdeen? Mike Johnston, the winger whilst on loan in Portugal last season, he did really well in his early Ireland caps before the summer, and injury ruled him out the early part of the season. He was back in the Celtic squad for the defeat for Lazio last night. And thank you for all the comments on this morning's video. I will get through a lot of them later on this afternoon. Rodgers will be hoping he gets a chance with Scales in the Ireland squad to maybe get some international game time. Look, it's going to be absolutely fantastic if he manages to get some game time on the international level. His season is only going to go from better to better. He's going to get stronger, he's going to get better, and being with Cameron Carter-Vickers, I think it could only make the Celtic defence stronger. Now, talking about Cameron Carter-Vickers, a lot of people have been saying it was basically his fault. It was his fault that he lost the ball, but Brendan Rodgers has come out and said, look, there's no blame on Cam. He said, obviously they steal the ball off him, but if we, Celtic, are in a better position wise in the pitch, we deal with things a bit better. He says, the 11 from the team last night isn't coming from the things that we missed out on. He says, overall, Brendan Rodgers says, look, I think we played some really good football at times. We had control. We were playing through the lines in the midfield. We got into areas, but we didn't quite get the result to match that. And when you look at the stats from last night also, I mean, Celtic at one point were favourites to win the game. The fact that Celtic did dominate for big spells, Brendan Rodgers is under no illusion that it's competition It's about where we're sat. And look, at the end of the night, we're sat on the bottom of the table with no points. It says, at the beginning, it's our idea to qualify for European football. It says, the ambition and our mentality is to still try and have European football after Christmas. Do you think, I mean, there was someone saying this morning that that's it, we're out of Europe, we're out of 2 cups and it's only October. We're not out of 2 cups. We've had 2 games. There's still a mathematic possibility that we can finish third. We could still finish third and go into the Europa. So, you know, people being really negative about it, you have to take the positives. Celtic played fantastic last night, and Liam Scales was right at the back of that. He said, last night, Brendan Rodgers says, we were very unfortunate to lose, but we showed our quality in the second half and played some really good football. It's been a harsh lesson for this team to take. We're playing some fantastic teams in the tournament. Unfortunately, we didn't take what we deserved for the game. We will look at that ahead of the next one and keep fighting every single game since Brendan Rodgers. So tell me what you think about Brendan Rodgers saying that we'll keep fighting. And do you think that that's us really out of 2 competitions already? I don't think so, because we've still got so many games to play. So some people are just crazy online. The one thing that was interesting on the group chat last night from all the boys that were at the games, they were talking about the singer that was on beforehand. And usually when it's at Celtic Park, the Champions League music come on, and then You Never Walk Alone will come on. They start singing that, and then they cut You'll Never Walk Alone off, and then the fans sing it. The fans sing it, and then that gets the players up. It gets a whole buzz around the stadium, and then at the end of You'll Never Walk Alone, there's an almighty roar. And Celtic basically killed the atmosphere right from the off of the game. Celtic killed the atmosphere by having a singer on, and fair play to her, she might have been a half-good chanter, but it kills the atmosphere. Allowing someone to come on and maybe start the song, someone at Celtic should have said, look, when it gets to a certain point, you stop singing and let the crowd sing. But she never. She kept on singing, and then the crowd stopped. And it kind of killed the atmosphere for the first 10-15 minutes of the game. And you've seen that last night. A lot of people have been complaining about that this morning on our group chat. And folk are like, do you know, it was depressing. It was completely depressing. It was depressing. That was exactly what they said. You'll Never Walk Alone is obviously a Celtic and Liverpool anthem. But when Celtic Park do it on Champions League nights, it's usually that song that gets everyone up and fired up, and it just didn't happen last night. I know the singer basically stole what the support should have done, and I know it's all about entertainment these days, and the Champions League is all about, you know, the match day experience. But the match day experience and the global audience want to hear Celtic Park at its best. And it never last night. It never. So tell me what you think about that. The lassie Diane was surely told the script, but she kept on singing and she never stopped to let them finish You'll Never Walk Alone. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Let Celtic fans sing. Let the people sing. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Subscribe to One Celtic Fans View. Hail, hail.
Hail. See you later.
All right.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up.